Yeah, good evening. I'm your host, Don Armando, and this is Open Topics with Don Armando. So tonight we're just talking about exposed races who actually are prevalent within the Latin. And to tell you the truth, I'm actually getting real tired of trying to have Afro erasure within the Hispanic community. So feel free to actually chime in. I'll actually put the chat link in the description. So please feel free to actually talk your opinions about this, or if you want to learn more about the Afro Latino community. All right, so this is my take on it. On these YouTube streets, I have seen, and TikTok as well, I have seen like a lot of ignorant people talking about how how Spain is actually the motherland and everything, but they forgot that Spain actually put us so in the predicament. Yet certain people they think that to make Latin America better, I'm just talking about most of the Latin American countries. They think that bringing American style racism will make a country better. And I actually disagree because when you see certain people who have a movement of being Afro Latino and proud, you have certain people who are trying to erase that culture and also going of Native American erasure too. So what they do is they actually gaslight and they use propaganda to say, oh yeah, if you're not of this land, you have to be of pure Spanish who actually come from other countries. So with that said, actually Latin America who have different ethnicities, I don't actually think so. I don't know what is my like to have anybody else's view who All right, so I'm just waiting for any guests. So feel free to come through. I dropped the link in the description. So please chime in. All right. So one of the topics that I'm actually speaking about, and I guess since today we actually heard the verdict of the guy who unalived Nipsey Hussle, I could actually say that I do not feel sorry for that individual. And one of the reasons that I feel that I do not feel for that individual is my dad and Nipsey Hussle passed on the same day. So while my dad passed from natural causes, Nipsey Hussle's children lost their dad to a selfish and violent individual. So, with that said, I do not feel sorry and I feel no remorse for that miserable soul, Eric Holder. At the end of the day, if a man is jealous of another man's success, instead of being empowered to be your best person or self, what did the guy do? He went and he unalived an important individual. With that said, I do not respect that man at all. And that is my personal view. With all the other politics and everything like that, I do not know. I'm not from the West Coast. Maybe a person could actually fill me in on what are the street politics, but I'm not here to talk about that because I'm not from the West Coast, nor it would not be respectful to talk about certain topics with me not being from the area or me not visiting the area. So, with that said, That is my personal view on the verdict from of Nipsey's unalive trial. All right, so I guess we have three builders in the building. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I try to bring beautiful content into this channel and also try to engage in discussion so therefore we could both learn, both disagree. And I actually try to make this channel a safe haven for everybody or anybody regarding of what is your belief or your political standing. This is a common ground right here. Open topics with Don Armando. All right. So let me start off. Within the Hispanic community, which I'm a part of, it looks like that there's certain people who actually call Hispanotips or Spain worshippers that are actually promoting racist views and who are against Afro Latinos voicing out and being proud on who they are. This is not only for Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and Cubans, but there's a whole movement trying to suppress the Afro Latinos from getting their actual rights, being proud on who they are, and actually representing themselves in other ways. Said certain people are always going to be haters. They won't downplay our contributions within the Latino society. And with that said, certain people will try to actually call us derogatory names or try to say that certain people who are of African descent are not intelligent and they want to try to praise a former empire that actually existed that now they were to actually go to the country Spain or Portugal, some of the residents will actually say that we're of dirty blood or will actually try to say that of we're not the same as them. So with that said, I just want to know why certain people want to go back and to represent a ideal which is ingrained maybe like 400 or 500 years, but yet you haven't been to Spain. That's number one. Number two, certain people could read history, they could be talking about or be sympathetic to what was the Spanish Empire, which doesn't actually exist anymore. It was actually destroyed in 1898 when the U.S. and Spain actually went to war, so therefore they lost all their territories, etc. And during the first and mid 19th century, where actually kicked them out of their countries, or Spaniard rule ceased to exist because certain people were not having it anymore. So I might just be paraphrasing. I'm not going to go and talk professionally about history because I'm not a history profession, but I do read about a lot of history books worldwide. So with that said, certain people, they feel like they have a historical entitlement to Latin America, and they want to try to downplay the accomplishments of Afro Latinos in these respective countries. And me, being an Afro Latino myself, I am actually totally against this. And I know that certain people are actually against this wave of ignorance. Good evening, Don Jose. How you doing tonight? You know what? I'm gonna call you what everybody should. All right. I got something for you. Good evening.
Good
Hi.
evening, Don Armando. Thank you for for having me, allow me on your platform.
Yeah, I just changed like your display name right there. So I hope you like it.
Oh my goodness. It's okay. It's okay. But believe it or not, I'm not working
Yeah.
overtime tonight.
All right. I was because you put in so much let me just call you that, the overtime emperor. So how's everything up in the good old NYC?
Everybody, everything's fine. Apparently, I've been blocked from someone on Instagram.
Well, as you know, today's well, even though that today's topic, because I'm waiting for another because I actually met him on TikTok. He seems like a cool dude. Me and him will talk about, I guess, certain topics, but then today, it just came that the guy who went on live, the late great Nipsey Hussle. So I was saying that that his passing, it was actually the same day that my so that's why I actually feel strongly about it, because I actually liked Nipsey Hussle's music and message that he was trying to promote towards not only African Americans but to everybody on how to be their own boss through his music.
Mhm. Well, the fact of the matter is, not everyone strives to be their own boss. I mean, there are people who are perfectly content to be followers, and then there are those who are brave enough to set their own course. I don't know whether it's just some music in the background, and he's just waiting till the music passes, or there's some technical difficulties on his end. But so far it's been a chill week for me. So we'll just take it one day at a time.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? What's up?
I'm showing. I just changed everybody's name. So it's nothing right there. So I'm just giving you a new name for whatever. So I know.
Hey, I was shocked. I said, who the hell? They can change names now? I ain't not know
Yeah.
that.
I mean, yeah, because it's like, okay, certain people could do that. So I was like, I bet. I was just gonna I actually changed Don Jose's name, so I was like, I bet. Because let me see. Something that will make him laugh. It made him laugh. So me, I was just thinking about what you are and everything like that. So I was like, I bet. ZR Texas. So, you could run with it or you could change it, whatever. We could talk behind the scenes about that.
Okay.
All right. So topic at hand. What are your thoughts, or what is your knowledge of the Nipsey Hussle court case, Zacharias?
I just found out that he got sentenced to 60 years, right? Um, that's good. I'm glad.
Right.
What's that man name? The prosecutor OJ Simpson trial. The dark skinned brother. What's his name? Chris Darden. They're supposed to be his lawyer. Yeah, that would have been his lawyer. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Christopher Darden always takes cases that he knows that are against, I guess, African American sentiments. That's how I feel.
No, you're right. Because
But
in Ed
then I
Buck
may
case,
be wrong.
no, sir. I mean, I'm sorry I interrupted you. No, you're right. Because in Ed Buck case, the white man that was killing the gay brothers and doing the satanic sacrifice and stuff, and was the donor to Hillary Clinton and stuff in West Hollywood, and getting them brothers from Skid Row. Christopher Darden was trying to take his side. Yes, sir. So he always been against brothers. He was trying to deflect that mess when the OJ trial happened, and Geraldo Rivera, you don't have to about him. Interviewed him. Dude had a book in his nose too. Don't forget that too. So with Christopher Darden, he was trying to sound so pro-black nationalist. All he was dating Marshall Clark and stuff, but that dude had a lot of self-hate. I did see some colorism, like he was jealous of OJ for being lighter than him and married to a white woman. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying. I saw that that's how all dark skinned brothers hate brothers eye complexion and lighter. Okay, but you got some that do that mess, and I saw that in him. Like, oh, he married his wife, and he accused of killing her. Let me go after after this this man. And every case with a brother, I noticed too, anytime a brother is killed, murdered, or falsely accused of a crime, this dude jump on a high horse. And like I said, it's one Thomas something Muir type of, I ain't say all dark skin, but it's them type, their mentality, that if someone ain't the same complexion as them, they can be camera brown complexion, like you and my complexion, or how y'all bright skin, you know what I'm saying? Don't matter. They just get on the case and ready to attack you. And I dealt with that. Like I said, I dealt with that in my own life for being, a brother that's not dark brown skin. You know what I'm saying? From some dark skin brothers just waiting to find anything on you, ready to set you up. Got cops, gangsters like that. So yeah, he lucky that he didn't take over that case and try to make Ed Holdo, whoever lied him to win, because he was just trying to drama a case to get somebody. And this Hustle was a brother who also part, what's the name, Aritian, and part ADOS Creole. He was trying to help the community. He was trying to kill it, and also to investigate. LAPD was involved in that mess against Nipsey Hussle.
Right. And it's like with me, right? With Christopher Darden, right? And then the whole OJ case. At first, I was like, "Oh yeah, I thought that he did it," but now it's not important. But the thing is, though, it's like with Christopher Darden, I've actually seen that he's not actually like within the African now. So with that said, everybody have seen him as a turncoat, as many other Black Republicans. So what is your view about that?
Oh, talking to me? Yeah. My view. Well, I already knew that. I mean, I already knew this dude. You're almost 40. Actually, about to turn 40 next month. But we seen this in the 80s and 90s, way before social media. Not the stereotype dark brown skin, bro, but the one, like, everybody shot the time. So I am not shot the time. So I seen it in my own family, seeing it in front of in my own crowd. That one particular dude, I'm gonna bring colors into him. They got mistreated, all type of blackies and all that stuff by other kids, and they could be all mixed, come different complexions. None of us are pure black in this country. And they had this thing. Let me take sides with white supremacy so bad to get back at the community. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back with all them calling me all type of names and stuff. Let me do some coonish to go back at the community. And that's why I saw Christopher Darwin in the OJ Simpson trial. Now, well, OJ, I'm gonna tell you this. I had no feeling he was innocent or guilty because it was all about race. You know what I'm saying? At first, I would sometimes say, yeah, he guilty. Now he not guilty. But when they made a race, I can't make a decision at all. What changed my decision? I think I told you about this. 2006, which is funny, 10 years later. I met a Apostle community college. I was in job corps program, college program. I'm on a computer on YouTube. YouTube before the CEO, she gone now. It was a fun thing on YouTube, MySpace and all that. So I'm just going on the computer in the computer lab. I'm looking at the Mr. Johnson, Dr. Johnson's bill, Blood Serpents. And it showed on Fox News that OJ was on a plane in Chicago. Nicole was talking to her mama before she was killed. So there's no way in the world that he did unless he set her up. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you can say he's guilty. So when I saw it, I knew something was up about this case. And even Gerardo Rivera saw the phone records. You know what I'm saying? He said he believes he's guilty. So since I brought that up about Chris Darden, that means Johnny Cochran, I don't know why he didn't mention it in the case, because it would blown the case out of proportion that he was guilty. But Christopher Darden probably knew that too. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, the Stephen the Chango movie, the Fit Lover movie Roots, this dude has showed so much. And I hope everybody see that now that he is the reason why also the case messed up. If OJ was guilty, which is not, because the phone records prove he was talking to her mom if he was on a plane in Chicago, but because you can't trust that dude. You can't trust Chris Darden. And he probably behind a lot of cases against accuracy and people. Everybody like the white folks, Hispanic folks involved. No, they look at folks with the all skin folks, not kin folks. Besides the vice president, no offense to bring her name up, but I'm talking about she was doing things like that too, talking about Kamala. But no, this dude here is probably setting people up in the community. And I always believe you look with inside your circle. Like what happened in Houston. It was folks with her own family. Besides, we suspect Ray J and the dude who's not, Ruffles, I'm sorry to say his name, in the hotel room, you know what I'm saying? Your own circle sometimes contribute to what's going on the outside. While you have enemies outside attacking you, always look at within. And a lot of our ADOS people need to stop and look at that. That's what killed Malcolm X, folks with the Nation of Islam, besides helping the government and the Klan. And also, too, we have Martin King. Remember, Dick Gerke said the dude, what's his name? Billy Cosby, the camera skin, curly hair bro that was in the hotel with Jackson them. They say he moved away. Dick Gregory said that he moved away from the shot. Yeah, he was setting up Martin King. It was just not Jay, who was saying it was Jay, but it wasn't LBJ that was actually doing it. Besides, they had somebody within the civil rights movement who didn't agree with Martin King's views, will set him up too. So our people are now waking up. With Tyree Nichols' case, they now waking up. I've been woke years ago. If I don't promote separatism, okay? If I have my multiracial background, because I saw that mess as a kid, that Cooney mess back then as a kid.
Yeah, like I was talking
I'm sorry, I
to
apologize.
we were just talking.
I'm sorry,
it's all good. I was talking about minds, right? And we were talking about, this is when the first days we started hearing of BLM or whatever. And even, what's his name? Lord Jamar actually said that he did not believe in BLM. So therefore, I did not really believe in BLM. I was not the one that's actually wearing the signs or whatever. Because at the end of the day, it was revealed in the first instance that BLM was not Black created. And then look right after the elections and everything like that. Everybody's now investigating BLM for sifting and for fraud because people are actually buying mansions, etc., and giving their pay rates. But at the same time, it's been revealed that some of these that the organization, they actually have hotels and stuff set. So therefore, it's not really a protest if you have hotels and bail money set if you're really going to protest. So therefore, in my view, I think that the BLM organization was flawed from the get go. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it was. At first, I didn't think that because we need a Black Lives movement. I had the T-shirt Black Lives and Latino Lives and A Lives before I got evicted. I had 3 shirts of that. But no, in Houston, remember I worked at the poll for the elections. The Latina and the dark skinned sister was the one that helped me. If you saw when the stalker showed my profile, my other profile from Facebook when I went to Selma, yeah, okay. Well, that was from BLF in Houston. Every time I put my point of view, I was always, let me tell you, it is. I was always hushed, told not to say anything. I came from multicultural and multiracial. I'm not gonna speak Black nationalism. You know what I'm saying? And even the folks that went with us to Selma, for the anniversary, the 50th anniversary back in 2015, like I was on medication. I about to go off on the tall soul sister, bright skin soul sister who was a teacher. Talked to her. I don't care if she was old or not, because I was being nice and she used to be rude to me because I didn't speak her narrative. When I saw that dark skin sister that was helping the Hispanic lady out, she's from Venezuela. I said, this is 9-10 not good, because I'm trying to get resolutions. I'm not trying to go along with this victim mode. I'm giving resolutions, yes, with a multiracial, because I'm going on with the one drop rule, but I'm trying to resolve this so we can actually stop this mess ASAP. But it was no resolution. It was victim mentality and Black nationalism that kept us back. You know what I'm saying? To pay by our clan. They didn't like that. So when I saw that I said, something is up. You want to protest, but there's no reason. You won't bring no penal codes. And I'm gonna drop a gem on this too. On my podcast, before me and the part Black Jewish dude got into it. With some spiritualities. The white woman, they help out with the homeless. I don't want to say her name on your show. If I wish I could. Go to my podcast. I talked about her when I was homeless. She was Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And I accused her. You heard it. I accused her for scam. The brother that's one of the preachers she was dating, he had cancer. He got dark and everything. He was about my color. He got dark. He died last year. Family, I'm gonna say who they are, reached out to me. They heard my podcast, called out the white woman. She has 2 mixed kids by another brother, dark skinned brother. I don't know if she divorced him or not. Anyway, he did. I don't know, whatever. And they speculate scam from this white woman. And on my podcast, I called her out for how she treat us homeless people. Like we were about, especially those acting like we bunch of slaves. She supposed to be a freedom fighter for the people here in Houston, Texas. This old heifer, I want to give me more about this woman. She act like she for the people because she like the anatomy. Okay, I'm calling it from a brother. I'm calling like it is, and got kids. But when it comes to stereotypes, because I never heard her use the N word. But the dark skinned brother was hanging with her, who homeless too, who's carrying out food, was calling me the N word, and I'm lighting him. Okay, and I saw that. Oh, you trying to be the coon for these white Hispanic folks that's here? That's what you're trying to do, brother. Because I don't go along with your narrative. Then when I called her out, she was laughing. Then she got a little butthurt. But when I said I was mixed with black, white, and American, Spanish down the ancestry, and I don't lie about my roots. When I saw her face turn, but she laughed at that brother, called me all type of N words, I knew she was full of crap. So we don't bring this up about the scam. That's when I knew, when it was about to get investigated, this one who realized Black Lives Matter here in Houston, that it was a scam already. What I told her before I cussed her behind, I cussed her behind when I was homeless. Before I tell her that, I'm gonna get to the point. I asked them to do the whole George Floyd case. George Floyd, someone got shot in Houston by police. And I said, so-and-so, I said, can you put on your banner when you protest the Penal Code of Texas 39 points? You know what I'm saying? She would not, she got an ugly face. So if you for protesting police brutality, besides saying Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot, and I can't breathe, you use the penal code that they not supposed to do when it comes to beings to tell them what to put them in their doggone place. She would not do that. When I saw that mess, that's why I cussed her behind out, and then weeks later, I did a podcast about her behind. I showed it, and I do believe she put it before me and that other fool on YouTube.
That's an
I
interesting
believe she put
story.
a spell. Yeah, I'll cut y'all. I believe she put a spell because when me and I know show when before me and the other mixed part dude Juju, okay, I'm gonna say his name, had got into it. Me and her got into it on Facebook about the Amber Geiger story. I didn't know who this. I mean, I know about her, but I don't talk to her on Facebook. Like that's when I lost my apartment. She had her sending for homeless people when I lost my apartment. Okay, she got offended because I revealed that Amber Geiger and Bolton John already knew each other. She didn't break. They was messing around. The Latino racist cop set her up. Okay, guess what? I'm sorry, Jose, this is going on. I get to the point. She jumped in out of no blue. The Black Lives Matter white lady jumped in, and then when she got into it, she said she came from a Baptist preacher. I said you supposed to be so religious and all that other stuff, and she not all that religious. She said, "Yeah, I'm not a used to Baptist church girl, not no more. I'm F your Scott Eddie." Okay. She said, "F your Scott Eddie." When she said that, bro.
All right.
When she said that,
Zach,
I'm sorry. She a Satanist. That's what I'm trying to get the
point. Zach. Yeah, I know.
Go ahead, Jose.
Jose needs to speak. Jose, you have something to say?
Yeah. First of all, I have issues with BLM because first of all, with all the money that they have gathered, I mean, they could have done a lot of good for the African American community. They could have provided scholarships for needy children because one thing we all know, to attend college now, it is expensive, and unfortunately, you have literally hundreds of thousands of people who accumulate a huge amount of student loan debt. That's one way they could have helped the African American community. Instead, what they do is they buy mansions and properties for themselves. Another thing they can do is they could have done all that money is help create small businesses for entrepreneurs. Okay, so unfortunately, and people might disagree with me, but the fact of the matter is, BLM is not for the African American community. Basically, it's just there to take advantage of the plight of needy people to help enrich themselves.
I totally agree with that. Oh, also, I would like to put this in to be known also. Now, shout out to the brother Hebrew Lion. He's saying that that an idiot is actually pretending to be you right now in other chats.
Yes, I'm watching. I'm watching. This is my laptop on my phone. I'm seeing it, and he don't realize I'm screenshotting. Yeah, I know the idiot's doing that. He also do witchcraft too. He said he said he put black magic on me. I knew that. See why I'm very esoterical?
It's funny on how this guy. It's funny on how this guy claims to be a so-called patriot and all this other stuff, but yet I'm saying like in this guy actually disrespects people who are actually married. He actually goes and disrespects people who are of of a darker phenotype. And then one of my friends that I've made on TikTok, he actually sent me a video on how this guy was trying to clown African American caller, I guess, to his whack show, saying like, "Oh yeah, your people are just had leaves around their private parts or something like that," and he says, "I'm a conqueror." Okay, I'm gonna go around and break it down. How are you gonna go and say, "Okay, you're a conqueror," right? When you're actually a descendant of a person that got conquered. First of all. Second of all, I'm just actually going to say this. Second of all, he could go around and push the anti-black narrative, but there's a rumor swirling around that somebody within your phenotype actually came from Haiti. Now to say this, I'm not trying to clown or anything like that, but for a person to go around and have that much hate towards African Americans and other people of the diaspora, I just have to say that this guy is a little bit hypocritical. And then third, he wants to portray himself as as an alpha male. But between us men, right? If I disagree with you with a point or something like that, I know and Zacharias we disagreed with each past, but we haven't came around to insult other on the points or whatever. We actually talked like men. Now, now this guy, whenever he disagrees with you, he blocks you and then makes a video, and especially to women, calling them traitors and vende patrias and everything like that. So to me, I think that's more of a trait of a beta male than an alpha male. But that's just my opinion. What is your thoughts, fellas?
If I can touch time
Oh,
in, if I can touch, if
go
I can
ahead,
touch
bro.
time in here. First of all, okay, excuse me. If I can just, first of all, the fact of the matter is, anyone that has to chime in and say, I'm an alpha male because of this, I'm an alpha male because of that, they don't need to begin with, number one. Now, there's a phrase that I've been saying quite a bit. Let the circus be the circus. And what I'm referring to all those individuals who are not rational, who are not logical, who are going on and they get into their personal feelings and what have you, and they're extremely sensitive, particularly when it comes to other points of view. Now, as much as I have disagreed with Zacharias, I give him the proper respect and allow him to speak, and express his point of view.
All right. So yeah, yeah, we disagree and we cool. About the person that's pretending to be me. I see him I'm watching him on my phone. Yeah, that dude is not an alpha male. We already know that. He hide behind the
I mean,
computer and phone.
and, and
I'm sorry, Armando. I'm just
it's
laughing at
like
this dude.
I was on a part. It's just funny because it's like, okay, they try to this is the stuff that I know that that's not you, because I know how you speak and I know how you actually express yourself. Now the guy who's actually trying to pretend that is you has has went up and used the word not Mexican, but he actually spelled it Mexicans. Mexikans, and then tried
Right.
to fake the whole thing on who you are and everything. I mean, I had a troll too. They went up and they tried to use my talking points when the fact is they wasn't even right to begin with. So it's just a laughing stock whenever you think about it on how people could try to fake that they're you, try to have your user points, but none of these guys actually know knew name. And that little argument you got with that, I forgot her. Does she even exist anymore?
Who?
Bona or whatever her name is.
Who?
Anna or Ona or whatever.
Oh,
It
no,
sounds like
the
she
black
has a
Mexican,
speech impediment.
the black Mexican racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about her. The stalker that stalked me in anger biracial said that I was being anti-black. I used that anti-black segment towards her because she was out there acting a fool. We can't say last year because now it's
Right.
before that. Yeah, she was out there going Popeye's chicken, tackling that dark skinned sister. I'm thank God I don't live her because I did buy some DoorDash when I had some money. I don't want her to live me. Anyway, but she do DoorDash just like the they say Angry Racial. But anyway, I don't want them to both to live me. Anyway, point is, she was out there acting a fool in a restaurant. I'm surprised the white man and collar popos on her about the sister being weave in her head. And when she tagged that baby, not verbally tagged the baby on
Right.
TikTok. That's why I went off because I don't like no one that took babies. That's a beautiful Blasian
That's
baby.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why.
Actually,
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
actually,
I, yeah, I didn't want to.
and also, come on to other people, trying to act like you're an effeminate man, which in case you're not. So
Mm-hmm.
that goes to shows you that I know something is up. Like for example, Hebrew Lion. Is it true or not that person or individual has how should I say rainbow tendencies? I'm just saying. I'm not like
I believe.
yeah,
I,
for real though. Think
I
about it.
do.
If
I do.
now,
A lot of these.
now,
A lot of
now,
these. Sorry, go ahead. I ain't trying to talk. Sorry.
now when we got
Armando, are you there?
I guess, hello? I guess there's some music. That's why he muted himself. No, what happened is every
all
now
right,
and
I'm
then,
back.
he has to, no, every now and then he has to mute himself because there's some music in the background, and he's concerned about not getting a copyright strike.
Okay, I got you. We have a new CEO of YouTube, and I'm glad he's here. So maybe there'll be some changes of that.
Oh,
Time will tell.
all right. This it's like it's funny now because well, me had our argument on. He said the most pause worthy thing. He started trying not to talk about my wife anymore, and that's where I got to the point that he gets his own just desserts before then. His his way of dissing people is not masculine. I got into arguments with real men, and we've said the worst things to each other. A whole female dissing a man, talking about stuff that a man is talking. I'm talking about a real heterosexual man. It's not. So this guy who was actually trolling you, Zacharias, he says the most pause-worthy things towards the guest on So that goes to shows me that maybe that guy or what it is.
I do believe that a lot of those him and his friends are, because when my channel got taken down, there was no Playboy or Penthouse women X-rated footage, or should I say video? I mean, we call it photos. It was gay stuff, and I'm like, y'all calling me that, but you don't put no women's stuff. You put men. So when men do that stuff, I'm kind of thinking that yeah, this enemy of ours have those tendencies, and his friends do too. On fire, sorry, on the other Afro Dominican dudes channel. Remember, I was on there and I was trying to avoid that channel, and y'all saw all those things that was folks were saying. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Well, see, unfortunately, here in these YouTube streets, you have all different types of individuals. You have those who concentrate their time to create quality and informative content. And then you have those who create what I call the circus. Okay. Which as a result, I have taken certain measures to make sure that my platform is, you know, troll free. And I see that Don Armando, you started to use the subscriber mode as well, because unfortunately, you have certain individuals who do like to troll, and then certain people who love to use certain X-rated images on their avatar, trying to cause a disturbance on the platform. When everything is said and done, you're gonna have the Jerry Springers of YouTube creating a bunch of rhetoric and noise and what have you, and then you have responsible people who create um, educational and productive content.
That's very true, Mr. Jose. That's very true. And when I do make a comeback on
Hmm.
YouTube, since we have a
Yeah,
new
there's a
CEO,
reality.
okay.
Okay,
Well, I was agreeing with you saying, sir. When I
I
come
mean,
back on
look,
you,
when everything, okay,
go ahead, sir.
okay, okay, I just didn't want to cut you off. That's all. Now, when like I said before, when everything is said and done, each person who has a platform, they have a responsibility in how they govern their platform. Some people take the responsibility seriously, others don't. And we can see it for ourselves who are the individuals who take their platform seriously and who don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna take mine seriously, and I'm glad that I examined the YouTube guidelines, so so I can be on code with that. And then when I have to screen who is coming if I ever do a live stream, who's coming on there, because it's a maturity. You know what I'm saying? It's a maturity thing. When I got on YouTube, it was slow. 2007, 2010. When I saw Thomas on yours channel and saw just like what Charles White was saying, how he changed his tune, how he got hyped up. Actually, a year ago, 10 years ago, I had to hype it up to get more views, and that's what led to that. You know what I'm saying? Like on my podcast, I hype it up because I know if I talk with it's the energy I put there. At least on podcasts, I don't have nobody come on there trying to perform me out. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do anything to me. But anyway, but people like that energy because it gets people hear things. So that's why I did that when I started. As far as YouTube, I was saying, I talk about stuff. I was kind of long winded, and no one wasn't checking for me. As soon as I started hyping it up, and I saw how I didn't agree with Tommy's viewpoints. Don't get me wrong, but I saw He hyped it up, and I was out my grandma's house in my own apartment. I said, "Well, I can do whatever I want now. I can go ahead and say what I want to say, just as long as I don't violate the codes." And so I did, and I was getting views left and right, getting views left and right, getting views. People disagree, and at least on my platform, people start trolling about a mix. I didn't call me out my name. I will flag it and I'll block them. I might have let them comment sometimes. Yeah, I'm gonna make one. I'm making you a new channel. Okay, I am. I'm not gonna announce it yet because I gotta watch who looking. But and I also want to make sure this CEO is not like the old one. Okay, so I gotta be smart. So the truth of the matter is, I was I had the entertaining me had to come in. I'm a Leo too. Had nobody subscribers, so I had to put that energy out there to get a crowd. And like I say, the COVID hit, these people start to come in that we never seen on YouTube before. And I think, and I'm not trying to, the OCO is gone. So when she was here talking about Susan, in my opinion, out of business greed, she let people violate the codes of her YouTube until she didn't like that person on her personal level. And that's why I saw with the other guy, he violated the codes and he changed the channel again, talking about one from Cleveland. But however, just I guess she got tired of my content on her own personal end, and she knew I don't put no inappropriate stuff on my channel. So that's why that I didn't want to come back while she was on here, because I knew if I start a channel, she might try to take it on her own because I saw how dirty she was back in July 2021. So yeah, so now when I come back on, I have to follow the guidelines as much as I can and watch what type of content and do it maturely, because I am getting old. I'm in my 40s. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in my 30s, leaving 20s at times. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because this ever since COVID hit, bro, y'all, these ignorant ones have come on YouTube, and I guess out of business greed, and to repeat myself, she saw money into it and say, yes, I'm gonna let folks, and that's find it personal funny, even though it's going against my guidelines and even going against cyber laws. I'm going to go ahead and let this go on. But once I don't like that person and I find some false or even accused when they're innocent, let me go ahead and just dish them. That's the brutality, the tyrant I saw of the old CEO. That's why she let these go on, because people, COVID, not to be long, I'm sorry, Mr. Armando, not to be long-winded, I'm going to get to the point. It gave more money and more viewership when everybody was at home in COVID. I was on the street. You know what I'm saying? So if the ignorant people going to give more money to her, it's greed. It keep them her going, her bank account. The intelligent people outnumbered. She didn't care. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I saw.
Okay. My response is the following. I cannot control how other people govern their platforms. I can only govern what I can do on my platforms. Okay. So, and I've been a serious YouTube creator for a year and a half, and I've managed to achieve some sort of success by producing quality content and just sticking with the core value, which is it's express their point of view freely as long as they don't overstep on each other. So when everything is said and done, I am not worried how other people govern the platforms. That's for the good people at YouTube to deal with them. My role is to make sure that I govern my own content.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree with you saying. What wasn't about me governing on his platform. Like I say, the truth of the matter is that when people, when like I said, when I came back from being homeless and finally got a phone, you know what I'm saying? Finally got a phone to see what's going on. It shocked what I saw. So I wasn't governed. But you have to also understand that they have guidelines about hate speech. Okay. And the people, yes, what you put out there can affect the world. So, like for example, when Tom and Southern you all talk about hair weaves, and you got sisters with perm hair and no, and with natural curly hair, straight hair too, but with perm hair who have their own hair. Okay, no one was calling nobody. I don't know if I can say his hair had hooligans, and you got on hair. You know what I'm saying? Until they saw Tommy's viewpoint, and you had sisters getting harassed by white men and some racist white Hispanic because some crazy brother who also part Latino too, talking about Thomas York, have put this narrative out here. Mia is a tool, okay? That's how the Jews were killed with Hitler. He used, that Mia. Um, that's how people of the passport brothers. Not all passport brothers are thirsty, sex offending thugs. That's just a couple. They need to be called out. I don't want to leave the country and someone's trying to kill me or send some laws at me because a Pookie and Ray Ray chose to go to a Latin country or Africa or Asia and mess it up for everyone else. So that's why it's not about governing, because what people say about somebody, and this is me. I mean, it wasn't like, we're older. I know you're older than I am. The television and people look at the television, look at the TV in it. People look at the internet now. TV, people don't even own TV. People don't own cable TV anymore. They have internet now. Okay, so now we have a voice now. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm putting content about a certain group of people, which is against the YouTube guidelines, it is our business. Once that person who sees that stuff and you're minding your business and they're harassing you because someone said that, okay, we have to look accountability. For example, people that are talking trash. We're gonna say, I want to say the person name. We know somebody kept talking about a brother's anatomy, like a Latino dude we have talked about before. Before the Passport Brothers, this dude was actually, I'm see why he said Mr. BBC a lot. Because no one talking about Passport Brothers been out there. It wasn't as negative like it is now. Before Cynthia G and Tony TKO came in and others, and the Vessels came in. But it was a racist Latino dude who's wanted my stuff. No, he ain't touching it. Okay. Started making more videos as they banned him so many times. And when COVID hit, the racist Latino community saw, besides the GOAT person making his video about George Floyd, as a GOAT in Spanish, English, you know what I'm talking about, okay? All right. When he came in, they gave this part Peruvian, part Mexican dude more views because the ignorant crowd that was working
Right.
will stop working, and they gave him abuse. Now, passport brothers are now viewed as a bad thing ever since Cynthia G took heed of this. And it is because I'm afraid, like, okay, it's a racist country, but now I'm afraid to travel out because now they're trying to put this Mia over there. That's why. Can I say one thing?
All right. So
Since you're Latino, I'm sorry, can I
yeah.
say one thing? This whole thing? I'm long winded. When Trump said that Mexico not sending its best, you're not Mexican, you're Puerto Rican, you're light and I and over us. So if they mistake you as Mexican, even though you're Puerto Rican, the same steer that Trump said can be used against you as well. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we have to watch what people say on YouTube and report it because it can affect people's life.
Right. And it's like, and it was like, how should I say? When you was on my, and then somebody tried to mention me and talk bad about me. As soon as you know that certain individuals were trying to get talk about me on the internet or whatever, I just actually completely blocked them because it's at the end of the day. I went through all this crap last year just for me declaring on who I am. But it's funny because most of my accusers will never show their face, and also they are all generalizing on and trying to put their narrative because my very existence go against their narratives. So I we just have to keep pushing and fight the good fight. And to the Atsland Warrior, shout out to you.
Yeah.
I gotta disagree with Aztec War. Why do you against the past? Because not all passport brother was not about going to Latin America, Asian community, and be anti-male, Latino, Asian, or either African. Okay, those are the thug, dusty. Don't get me started because I can't stand the crowd of the African community. I'm sorry, certain. If you ADOS, y'all know what type of people within the ADOS I cannot stand. That's the ghetto, dusty, trash bags that finally got some money, especially since the stimulus check kicked in, and they start coming at acting a fool. Not all passport brothers are like that. Majority of passport brothers, when they first started, were wealthy, well-established African men who tired of this stupid racist country, who want to make a living, just like Tina Turner did when she left this country. And I'm glad. Shout out to that sister. Woo! I love me some Tina. Okay, and you're Mexican American, right? You're Mexican American, right? Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. So if a Mexican American dude or Mexican or any Latino dude come in this country is undocumented or documented immigrant, whatever, and start doing some anti-American stuff and talk and sex trafficking, should you get blamed for it since you're in the United States? Because I got okay, no, because that's the same thing what Trump said about not seeing their best. The same stereotype you're saying about passport brothers is no different than white supremacists saying that Latino immigrant men are here to rape sisters and white women. Okay? And I went to school with a Mexican American dude who was a sex trafficker. I talked about my Twitter. Graduated 99, graduated 98. Go look it up. Him and his mama was sex trafficking Latina girls from other countries in the east side of Harris County. Okay. And I never thought this dude would ever do anything because he used to play basketball. I hope the Colombian chick that both of us were trying to talk to in high school back in 98, I hope she wasn't a victim because she was in ESL. Okay. He's sex trafficking. There used to be a Mexican bar right there on Clinton Drive by the ship channel. It was always packed. They got raided 2007 because they had sex trafficking going on and the girl was underage. Yes, he was connected with that. Then he got arrested again in Montgomery has a racist area. I don't know why he would do that. I can't cuss on here. I wish I could. Why would you, as a person, come to Montgomery County and get in trouble for sex trafficking there too in 2016 at doing Super Bowl weekend? You know what I'm saying? And that's a racist area. Anyone knows that Montgomery County outside Harris County, okay? So the thing is, if they start saying, oh, Latino immigrant men are here to rape women and steal jobs, all that, you hate that comment on you. Well, don't do the same thing with ADOS brothers going to this same xenophobia that you're putting over here because you're saying they're going to Latin American country. Not all brothers are anti-Latino and anti-Asian men. Because that's saying that all like the Peruvian Mexican dude that's born here, his parents here, he complain about America all the time. I'm not being xenophobic, but why he here? If you don't like the country, why you here? He got money. He makes money doing his yard work and stuff for white folks. Why you here? You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be xenophobic here, but okay, most of them do drug trafficking to how?
All right.
No. Hold on. Okay, first of all, there are Mexican immigrants who are involved. Oh my God, Jesus! Because I know cases of I don't want to go into detail. I know cases of Mexican immigrants involving cartel and drug cartel. I actually know Latino immigrant folks who are not Mexican, who Salvador, who are in the what's it that 13 image 13. I'm gonna say who it is. Keep my name out. Okay. So I'm not saying all immigrants who are Latino are doing it, but that's the same stereotype. that you're saying by passport brothers who are not thugs, who are not anti-Asian, who are not anti-Latino, okay? Because some dusty trash bags don't represent the good ones. And the passport brothers who are good need to call out that garbage bag. Cause I'm sorry, I'm not with that gatekeeping a brother making us look terrible. I'm about when a brother act a fool or a sister act fool, kick their behind out. That's why the stalker was upset when I said, excuse me for my language, ship out. Cause when they do that mess, I use that term. You make it the community look terrible, but white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in gatekeeping a brother or sister. They kick their behind to the curb. It's an image.
All
It's
right,
very yeah. I'm sorry.
got you. You have. Well, I understand.
I have a quite couple being on.
All right.
First, okay. First of all, we have to make a distinction between people who go to different countries, not just Latin America, but Asia as well. Okay, out there to trying to find a significant other, and then we have the from those who are going in there just to smash. I mean, that is the reality. Unfortunately, you have people who've been going out there to smash for a long time. I mean, and they're not the first ones doing it. Other people have been doing it for years. Unfortunately, all attention is focusing on these individuals. Um, some people, for whatever reason, cannot date American women because they're too masculine, they're too this, they're too that. Okay. My feeling is everyone should be able to love who they wish to love. Okay. And all I'm gonna say is, for those who decide to date outside the United States, it will help if you try to learn something about their culture, and because unfortunately, when you date outside, you know, the United States, you have the different encounters, the different things that you have to learn, and you have to be mindful of the fact that what may be no considered normal here in the United States, it's considered maybe considered abnormal elsewhere. Now, I don't like to generalize because there's good and bad in every community. There's good and bad, whether it be with when it comes to ADOS or FBA. There's also good and bad when it comes to the African American community. There's also good and bad when it comes to Latinos. Okay, I don't believe in painting a broad stroke on any particular community just because you see a couple of bad apples.
I told. I totally agree with that, Don Jose. And it's funny because most of the people who I identify as the racist Hispanotypes, most most of them I've seen, or they have their nonchalant attitudes. They haven't lived or actually had polyphone reflections of ADOS or of ADOS. Some things is that with all their ignorance and everything, I could tell you they would not carry on with that ignorance if it was amongst people who are actually professional and everything like that. But yet they feel that they have like a battery on their back when they're on YouTube or in social media. So, what's your thoughts about the false bravado of these Hispanotypes, Don Jose?
Okay, well, first of all, let's make this perfectly clear. They don't represent the Latino community. Okay, in fact, they just represent, the glorification of the Spanish Empire. I got news for these individuals. The Spanish Empire will never rise again. So it's time to get into the 21st century and some time ago. The fact of the matter is, and again, people need to understand when you think about Latinos, our culture is based on three sources: Spain, Africa, and the indigenous people. And the fact of the matter is, we've been mixing with each other for, I mean, when the Spaniards first arrived to the so-called New World, so of course, men being who they are, they have to find some way to counter urges. So what they did, okay, they satisfied their counter urges first with the indigenous women that was here, and then when they were dying off, let's keep it a buck. They brought Africans
All
over here,
right.
and they satisfied their urges with them. That's why you have so many different people of different hues.
That's true. That's very true.
And also you have to. It's very complex when you talk about Latin America because certain people, actually immigrants that actually came into Latin America, and now since some of the immigrants actually be on U.S. soil, it's just like okay, you're this, you're that, but then there's a different culture behind that. Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Okay. I don't know who is Vasquez and don't really care who it is. But I've actually heard this guy, Pancho, whatever the heck they are. It is funny. The guy sounded like an idiot, and the other day, it was like maybe 2 or 3 months ago. It was a Dominican sister and a Colombian brother on Fighters Channel that actually roasted. No, roasted is not the appropriate word. Flame broiled that guy OG Pancho, whatever the heck it is, and it was funny just to see this guy squirm and not be on the panel. But their jokes was just so precise on what this guy is.
Yeah,
It was just
Ro-
it was just
Vas-
funny.
Vasco is the Colombian dude. That's the other person that put the thing on my channel. Yep, him and the goat. Oje Rancho is Nicaraguan. Him and Radical had a debate like 2 years ago. His wife is Colombian. He lives in Los Angeles. He was trying to be a rapper. He didn't win. He sells car sales. He's car salesman, and he graduated from a community college. And he came from a single parent home. He does talk bad about accuracy in people. I was on his channel, and just like not to be angry by racial until he started talking about accuracy in people. And first I was Hispanic, and because I'm Catholic and I have Spanish Creole roots, so I was okay up until I started defending my ADOS people, and not all ADOS people are Protestant. You got ADOS people who are also Catholic. People need to be uneducated out here. So I'm an Afro-Saxon. So I guess my Hispanic card for being Spanish Creole got declined. And because I started defending, because the generalization started coming in. I'm like, I don't like the generalization. And he was using Catholicism. Us Catholics, we're not supposed to be racist. That's one thing, but that I would not to bash Protestant. Conservative white Protestants twist the Bible, those are racist, to be be racist. Us Catholics were taught to be children of God. That's why race mixing in Catholic churches were very common, and it was people intermarried. In white Anglo-Saxon Protestant South, where I'm from, that there was against race mixing because they twist the Bible. That's why they saw the black woman and the Native American woman as property, as not human.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But that's why Louisiana was open.
But then talking about that, race mixing already happened anyway, whether they went up and they tried to twist the words or not. Am I correct, Don Jose?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, in all fairness, I have not had too many interactions with OG the Rancho. It's been extremely on this channel. But the fact of the matter is, people can take scripture and fit their own personal narrative. I mean, there was once a time where people actually believed that African Americans were cursed based on a misinterpretation of scripture. Uh, each person is allowed to believe whatever the heck they believe. But the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, you have people that will take scripture and they'll twist it, to fit their whatever personal narrative that they have. And that's what happens when you don't take good scripture in its proper context, but twist and fit your own personal narrative.
Yes.
When they took the Native Americans, when the white Anglo-Saxons, my other ancestors, took this country and made it to a wasp country, they used scripture for defense slavery and colonization. They saw the Africans and natives as pagans, because they came from polytheist religions, but they thought it was better. And every time I hear anti-Catholicism trashing because it was bad Catholics that went to those countries, you know what I'm saying, to America, Louisiana, whatever, even part of the South, you know what I'm saying? People always bring that up, but people realize the Pope and other religions called it out and condemned the people doing that. They don't teach that in school. But here in America, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant leaders, not all, especially the South, who were slave masters, they thought they were Christian when it was raping, ship white chicking out. Okay, so I said like that was in words. They thought they was in the right. Slaves, false version of religion. When he twist the Bible, that's why when Harry Tubman was trying to get them out the plantation, he was only massive. They thought God would get them. And that's why some of our Adolf people still stuck in their mindset, because the preacher, the black preacher on the plantation that was Protestant, the slave master, you use him to keep the slaves where they at. That's why they had a lot of wealth or have some type of privilege on the plantation. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying all preachers or Africans are bad, but you see it to this day everywhere in the hood. Huh? Okay, go ahead.
Talking about the United States and right, like it was not really the United States was not real when I'm saying when it was founded, it was really a Protestant state, because certain people during the time in Europe, from what I've read, the Protestants and the Catholics are going at it, even to the point that there was a queen that turned Catholic that was against the Protestants, that was side under the line of Henry VIII. So
but
it looked like that a lot of war was between, I guess, the separation of the Protestants and the Catholics.
Yeah, you're Bloody Mary, Queen Henry's daughter, Bloody Mary. She killed Protestants. She was wrong for that too. But yeah, she killed Protestants in England. You're talking about Bloody Mary. That's what Bloody Mary comes from, because she was killing Protestants. Right. Queen Mary or either Princess Mary, yeah, she was queen. Because see, King Henry became Protestant because us Catholics don't believe in divorce. So every time he got married, he didn't have no son. So I think he killed the wife or something, and yeah, he killed his wife so he can have a son. So when the church said no, you cannot divorce, that's when he made the Church of England. Because Protestant, no offense, I know you're Protestant, it's about making your own interpretation of the Bible. That's why I left Protestantism, and you know what I'm saying? Because 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 21 says there's a prophecy, a person to the scripture. And then 2 Peter, St. Peter is writing about it. It's the first pope, wrote in their chapter of 2 Peter, in verses 15, 17, that Paul's teachings are hard to understand, that the ignorant unstable will store them as do scripture, therefore be on your guard. So he already warned people that people can store scripture, especially Paul's teachings. Pauline letters are
Right.
hard to understand. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why. So um King Henry didn't like the fact the church would not let him divorce his wife. He kept killing his wives so he can have a son. So what he did was he divorced and made the Church of England. That's why the Church of England is similar looking to the Catholic Church. And then the Church of England, so all these Protestant people
Yes, it
started having
is.
their own, yeah, is they start having their own version of the Bible. That's why the Puritans left England, went to Holland, got persecuted by other Protestants, and came over here in the Mayflower. And when they came here, they like some like people don't tell you, they had rapists on the ship. And when they saw the American girls and women,
Wow.
yeah, they don't tell you that
Wow.
the
That
school. That's why
that
even though DeSantis Catholic and not a good one, I'm against him with the critical race theory because they're not gonna tell you that. They're gonna paint the white Anglos and Protestant men as a good thing, talk bad about the Catholic Church by we did this and that. Ain't gonna talk about the Protestants doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? They don't parallel that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I was taught that the Spaniards killed the Huguenots because they're Protestant. No, the French Huguenots that are Protestant were getting ratchet, chipping out in France, killing Catholic priests, just committing blasphemy, knocking down churches, and they'll teach that. They thought they could go to Spanish Florida and act a fool. And the Spanish saying, oh, heck no, you ain't gonna come over here act a fool. And they put them in their place. That's why they came to Louisiana pretending to be Catholic. Okay? And actually it's a Creole Cajun woman. She's like a white lady, but she makes some Mexican too. She's got black in her too. She on TikTok. She revealed, I think you and I talk about this, that it was French Huguenots who are Protestant, but to be Catholic, they were the main ones slaving black folks in Louisiana. Yeah, people look at Cajuns. The Cajuns men didn't believe in slavery, some of them did. But it was the French Huguenots pretending to be them. And that's why we had an acquisition. The acquisition went wrong when people started killing, murdering, being ratchet. But no, the reason why we had acquisition because you had Muslim and Jewish and other faiths coming into a church to try to become Catholic and trying to put their own heresy within the church. No different with the whole sex scandal going on when I talk about Zachary King, the former Satanist. The former Satanist who became Catholic, who used to be Baptist, he part Puerto Rican and white.
all
Check your
right.
name.
So okay, what
He
since
he said he said the Satanists was doing the
all
same
right.
thing in
So
church
Don
by joining.
Jose.
Sorry, go ahead.
Don Jose.
Yes.
All right. So Don Jose. Talking about the historical information and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on, and I know that both of y'all what are your thoughts on, certain people trying to use the Catholic faith to justify their racism, or anybody or any other person, trying to use the Christian faith as a balance for their racism? Not using scripture, but
Well,
I'm just saying anything in general.
okay. Well, the Bible talks about false prophets, and we have had false prophets since the beginning. That is nothing new. We're going to continue to have these false prophets until Jesus himself returns. I mean, but the Bible also talks about that you know a tree by its fruit. A bad tree cannot produce good fruit. Good tree cannot produce bad fruit. When everything is said and done, you can judge a person based on their actions, and their actions will be a better testimony to who they are. Unfortunately, we have had people since the beginning that have twisted scripture to fit their own narrative. They use scripture to justify slavery. They use scripture to justify that evil. That's why you have things like cults. like go around, they take the scripture and they twist it to fit their own narrative. That's the reason why the Bible teaches us, woe be the person that trusts on man. Okay? Because when everything is said and done, excuse me, when everything is said and done, um, people are going to twist scripture to fit their own narrative. And with that being said, I'm just going to take my leave. Thank you very much for allowing me on your platform. And I
Thank
want
you.
to encourage everyone, if they have not done so, please subscribe to Don Armando's channel and check out his content. I just want to say, everybody, have a good night
Buenas
and please be
noches.
safe out there.
Buenas noches, señor.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night. But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. The reason why people do discernment is not as big because you have family members who indoctrinate their children. You see what I'm saying? And I know coming from a spiritual abusive grandmother on my dad's side, she no longer here. It was tough to try to get away from that because you had a network and a system. You see what I'm saying? Not only network, you have people that believe the same thing, they're in position of power and authority. So you're trying to point the wrong, but they're trying to force you to go along with their narrative and make sure you don't got nothing. That's why I'm financially like struggling in Texas. Okay, because Texas has a culture of that. Y'all in New York and Philly, no, it was. That's why I bring this up about religion. When they stole Texas from Mexico and made it to a white Anglo-Saxon country, for slavery. Then it became part of Confederacy, and then later on, it took long 3 years after slavery ended to have Juneteenth. So that's why we have a lot of stuff like people say it's own country. Yeah, Texas is own country. It's hard to come out the state. Everybody is on code. Like not everybody. It's like a lot of people on code to keep that abusive narrative. And I'm not trying to bash Protestant people, but the conservative white Protestant toxic behavior is conditioned. Even those who are Catholic, they're conditioned to go along with the society. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it was hard for me to come out of Texas, because while you're trying to come out, here's someone in a position of power trying to make sure you don't come out. You should make sure you don't get no funding, make sure you don't get a job. You know what I'm saying? You don't even mention you're going through a situation with your family, and they can just kind of spiritually tell, like, I'm not hiring you. You know what I'm saying? You got a clean record and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I take religion and spirituality so, besides the witchcraft, Satanism, trash, but the conservative process, because everything is in spirit before it's in the flesh. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I was trying to let you know. And I wasn't trying to bring the saints to the board, Jose Negron, but that's what Zachary King was saying.
Right.
The ones, the scandals are those satanic folks coming in. That's why we had an acquisition. Everybody look at the couch like, why y'all killing? No, the killing part was wrong.
The Inquisition,
But trying
right?
to find out. Yeah, we're trying to find out who is teaching false teaching, who becoming a priest, who is he in trying to destroy the true faith. And you have some Jews and some Muslims and other faiths coming in for the agenda. And even today, that's why Pope Francis said, okay, that's why Pope Francis saying that about the gospel is not political or conservative. You probably saw that on social media. Or for Ash Wednesday, I need to go to church. You know, church today. I was thinking about like, I'm going to. He even said that the gospel is not made for conservative because a lot of Republicans who sound like WASP in the Catholic Church and church is knowing the priests doing it too. They're making a Fox News version of the church, and it's getting on my nerves. I'm not lying. Even the Spanish Creole Italian dude that's on Fox, Raymond Arroyo. Yeah, he's Spanish Creole and Italian. He not Hispanic Latin American like you and Jose Negron. And no, he's from Louisiana. He's part Italian, part Spanish Creole. And I know his nose has changed. He had a flat Negro nose. Okay, yeah. The dude on Fox News. He's on EWTN. I cannot stand Raymond or a lot of Catholics who know what he's doing. He is not a good Catholic. cannot stand him. He was on EWTN. He's watching Raw, and he's annoying me sometimes. And sometimes he would curse the D word. I'm not lying, on EWTN Religious Network. And so, as cocky as that mess, Pope Francis said, "Do not use the gospel for political agenda, for conservative." And I know it made him mad. I know it made Rainbow Royal, and even here in Houston, that's why I've been in church a long time. When Bush became president, men didn't vote for Bush, and look what he did. He brought the anti-Catholicism with the church scandal. Okay,
All right.
when it's there's a karma for them. Okay, it hurt me too. Okay, but because his dad was in some scandal his own self. Okay, but no, they brought that wannabe white Anglo-Saxon Protestant conservative American nonsense into the church and infiltrate that. And when Pope Francis became a pope 10 years ago, they start going, when I lost my apartment in 2019, you probably saw news, the American Catholic going against Pope Francis, because Pope Francis is a good Catholic pope and do the word of the Lord. These folks are working for capitalism in the United States for white Anglo Protestant clout. They're trying to win the people who hate the Catholic Church favor. That's what they're doing. Because remember, Nixon and LBJ and H.L. Hunt, who's had that talking points, they were against Catholics when they killed our good President Kennedy, before they killed his brother and they killed Michael X and they killed Michael King. You know what I'm saying? And the dude from Fox News, I think he's Australian. Yeah. Talking points.
Yo,
and
it's like,
it's in
got you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like to the point,
All
right?
right.
And I'm seeing this over and over again, that the goat, right? And you know, the goat, the queen, and Dominican decadence. That's who I'm calling the three tiers, right? Because all they speak is farts. So literally speaking. So with all that said, right? This is one thing I don't understand about others. Because I'm to a Mexican brother that actually put me on to certain stuff where um African people, your people were wearing leaves on their privates. Okay, first of all, their thing and their agenda is, but the last thing I remember when I was actually reading the kingdoms of Africa and everything like that, that certain people didn't wear leaves around their privates. So I don't know where they get that. Maybe he was watching the old 1930s or 1940 cartoon that actually depicted Africans and natives. With that said, I think that person needs to. That's the only way you could actually progress in life. What's your thoughts about that?
Why are they so concerned about who wins something on their privates? That I'm sorry.
Exactly.
It's this homoerotic. I'm sorry. That's why I do think these dudes like brothers. Okay, everything is around about the ping. I don't understand what straight man can worry about another man's ping. I'm not lying. Before the goat and drag queen and the Waco, okay, from Los Angeles, it was the BBC who's Peruvian Mexican from Maryland, okay, who been spreading that narrative. Everybody is worrying about what a brother's ping is. I don't understand. And it's the thing, not to talk about sexual talk about. if that's the case, because not every brother has that, okay, it's a stereotype, but Latino part black, right? You know, one don't look black, come on, ancestry. So if that's the case, I mean that Latino men, you know what I'm saying? That's I don't understand this obsession. I know the white supremacists made the obsession because it's my Anglo-Saxon, because we had sex forms. Due to that one drop, they had sex on the plantation where they had the pimp brother prostituting the kids, both the boys and the girls. And while Christian Anglo-Saxon Protestant men went to church with the Bible with their wives on Sunday, and then watch lynching at the service. Yeah, watch it at the service. Yep, on Sunday afternoon. Okay. So my thing is, yeah, the white Anglo-Saxon male who was racist and sexual deviant, okay, who was the baby daddy, he sometimes would bring the slave male in the bedroom because his concept was to have sex with the wife. Yeah, of course, the house slave, dark skin light, or sometimes a fair one, dark skin light, was the buck. And they would use him to have sex with his wife. He had the permission. Yeah, people don't talk about that in history. It's Black History Month, right? So that's why this concept of the black man has a big penis. Okay? And the reason why he didn't want him to meet with the white woman, because the white woman was going to end up be satisfied about that. That was a myth. Not only that, because the white woman will make the child free. If they have the whole idea of a black, that's why I'm upset this whole passport mess, because it's about dating non-black women, but these Latino racists and Asian ones, and even African immigrants don't know the info. That's where it started. I mean, talk too much, Don Armando, but I'm gonna tell it like it is, okay? You know, I'm Baker Rebellion cousin, talking about Nathaniel Baker, on my white for grandma's side. Okay, when the Baker Rebellion happened, they were bringing the black man in the bedroom to see with the white woman. Okay, the slave master was, but when the Baker Rebellion happened, white indentured service did intermarry with black slaves, fought against the white established slave masters in Virginia, who were wealthy. They got scared, so they caused separation with class and race. They made the white distributed slave catchers, and they made the black slaves. That's when they had the anti-miscegenation laws. Okay, the idea of a black man going with a white woman is because if she has kids, the children will be free. Black woman or mixed black woman, native or part white or all three, have child with massa. The child will be will be a slave. That's why I'm against the one drop rule. I'm against calling us pure blacks, because us having one drop meant that we'd be a slave. That's why you had slaves looking like Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter. Okay, I'm not here to debate that. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I believe that's his daughter. But you had slaves looking like her, or look like some white men with some black blood, because they need more slaves on a plantation in order to have their part. That's why mass was raped. BBC is not real, brother. Stop. There are sisters I know that they only brothers who have told me that not all brothers have that BBC. Let's stop. Okay, that's a white man's narrative, and I'm sad that so many brothers have got bought into this nasty narrative, because BBC is a myth. It is a myth. The white man had that, the race, our other ancestors, whether you want to claim or not, had that. That's why they had a sex form on the plantation to make more slaves, especially when they stopped importing slaves from Africa. That's when all the rape started happening through that one drop rule. Okay, that's why I'm against the one drop rule. That's I'm against call us pure black. They want to explore our black blood for slave labor, and then after slavery, yeah, they had a mulatto category, but they got rid of it because they didn't want us to have freedom for having black blood. That's why you had folks pass for white. Yeah, folks didn't want to have no black in them. Okay, I'm against that. See, all that one drop rule mess was for slavery oppression. And then they said that you hate yourself. Let me explain what that hate yourself come from. Meaning you're not in my place, in your place. When they use that defaming, slanderous phrase, it's saying N-word, you're not in your place that I put you in. Because the slave master or the white supremacists after slavery and Jim Crow didn't want you to have freedom like him. That's what it was. Okay? That's what it was. That's so King called me on stuff. I know that little phrase. See, they had a disease called Jatomia, where it's called by Samuel Cartwright. Said slave wanted freedom. He was had mental issues, or she had mental issues. They consider you wanted freedom, having mental issues. That's where the fake self-hate comes from. Okay? And they paid Marcus Garvey. No offense, Armando, that was a tether, okay? He came here in this country as an immigrant from Jamaica and worked with the Klan. And it's a bright skin, but he has on YouTube. I'm glad he's a historian. That's why more lynchings happen at that Klan meet. Because in that Klan meeting with Marcus Garvey, they were plotting more lynches. Because the idea of them lynching an African person was you to hate white people and join his little cult. Okay? Marcus Garvey was an opportunist, was a tether. I don't know why Trina, she don't mention him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they don't mention him. Because he scammed the Boys exposed that man before J. Edgar Hoover. And J. Edgar Hoover threw him under the bus because it was all working together to stop us having freedom. The NAACP people by us having freedom in this country. This is our country. Segregation was not for us. Okay? Segregation was not for us. It was to keep us. It was a karma for not being the N-word on the plantation. That's why they burned Wall Street, Black Wall Street. That's why they burned those towns that had money. Because they didn't want us living good. So they want us to live in default, any form of fashion. And then one thing, segregation, a lot of colorism was there. Because my grandfather, who was a color, he was dark skinned. The bright skin, the Mariah Carey, Drake looking, or those who look like Paris Jackson, had more love.
Got you.
Yes.
I heard that was the truth.
I'm sorry. I mean to cut you. I'm saying, now I'm not defending Teresa, but I'm right here and calling.
Ant-Man Warrior, that's gonna be coming soon too. So then, and help his channel grow also. As y'all doing to my. So, with that said, Zacharias, it's funny because in Mississippi, they are actually referred to Gulfport, Biloxi, and I guess on certain parts of Louisiana. So when I was there, and most their crawfish, they like putting hot sauce and stuff in it. I actually thought that joint was nasty, but I never really ate it for my personal taste. But the thing is, though, it's when you actually talking about the history, now that you actually look at it, there's like in the African American history, you have certain people who are outside of the United States that actually came into to America to try to teach about the history, but then you have certain people who did not roll. So with that said, I think, and I'm just putting this disclaimer right there, not my view or anything. It's only one picture of him, but they have the guy who calls himself, who was named Wallace Farder Thutter, if you actually look at it, because they say he was not even from here. But then I don't know about that.
Oh, don't let me stop with Wallace Farder. Okay, it's a book, and this brother that made the book is not Tether. He's actual Afro. You can say Afro Latino. He has a English last name. He's from Belize. Dr. Verba L. White. He's Verba Muhammad. He's a former Nation of Islam.
Right.
He knows them. Yes, in that book, they thought he was Arab because rumors had that Wallace Fard was Arab, but they say he was a light-skinned mulatto. When people thought he was a Mexican or part white and part Asian, and when he got locked up in Folsom or San Quentin prison, they list him as white. And I always said, since he started Nation of Islam, my question is, why are we not screaming like Queen with Halle Berry? You know, the name about the Max Harris, Alex Hayden movie, which said, I'm a Negro, I'm a Negro. Remember when she was called Pass for White and she's in a black church? Okay, why he didn't say that when they put him on white when he was in California in prison for fraud? That's why I don't take them the talking points and even folks in the Golden Spear or those associated call me all the time. I laugh because I'm educated about this stuff. I read Dr. Verba White's book when I was in Job Corps right after Michael Jackson won his case. I said, I gotta get that book because everybody used some talking points to tag Michael Jackson. You know, he was silly to go to Nation of Islam. And you probably seen on my Twitter, I trash talk Stephanie Mills, his sister girlfriend, Ackerman's girlfriend they say he only had, you know, Stephanie Mills. You know Stephanie Mills back in the 80s. She's on the Flab TV. People don't know she's associated with Viacom. And all that talking points that Michael Jackson was hanging with white people, the reason why he left her because she didn't support his dream. Even because she was a sister. And as one of her fans on Twitter are mad at me because I called it out. Yes, she knew Viacom when she was 16 years old. Before she did the wigs and all that stuff. And she did surgery. Look at her features and her face now. She don't look the same no more. Before she started talking about Michael Jackson's features. Right. And she had 3 failed marriages. So what that tell you? Trying to put some divesta movement and some black national movement intact and defend Michael Jackson's innocence, but bash him for going with white women, not knowing that he married a who was passing for white, because that's my 11th cousin, you know, Elvis related to me. She's Melania talking about Lisa Marie. People, one of her fans mad at me, but I brought that up because Elijah Muhammad cult is the reason why brothers are getting attacked when we pass for brothers. Brothers getting attacked of being with other women, even though we're mixed, we're not pure black men. People relegate brothers. Ever since that crooked Elijah Muhammad written that book to the black man in America, that's a slave document. You know what I'm saying? It's a black code slave. Ain't no freedom fighter book. I read that part of that book. I threw that book down because some of my family member has that crazy book. Okay? You forgot that crook was hoodwinked by Wallace fraud, should I say, where he was from here now, some tragic mulatto trying to rob the community for the Klan, because Elijah Muhammad was a two, okay? He was mixed of two. He was a Native American white, bright skin, and a colorist, and he was sex offending those women and girls in Nation Islam that Malcolm X exposed. That's why brothers are having problems with the freedom today. We supposed to be past this, who we marry, who we date, who we travel. That's why I'm defending the past, brother. It's not the bad things. I'm tired of people using bad stuff to relegate us like we back on a plantation. Fake sisters, we ain't lynch sisters, they're besters. That's we ain't lynch little women. The man in the bed when it was for massa. That's what the investors are. The people forget their history. All this repeating itself. The fake stabbing brothers like Stephen Chango and what happened from Fitler. Remember, Fitler had the fear. I mean, Kunta Kinte, he was a fake story because, you know, Alex Haley was caught for lying about roots. But it has truth to it. A brother had to worry about another brother because the plantation N-word, I want to say the name here, was helping Massa. And Fitler was helping Massa. When Kunta Kinte took his chains off, he come fake brother trying to beat him behind taking his chains to be free. You see what I'm saying? The same thing about Eric Holder with the Nixon Hustle? Yes. And Charles harder. All this stuff is recycling. Okay? So that's why I defend the passport brothers, not the bad ones, the ones who going out have a good time, ain't doing no wrong. Because now they're trying to relegate us, escaping us a racist country. That's what it's all about. It's not about some, but they knew the white men out there doing the sexual stuff and sleep with kids and stuff in Latin America and sex trafficking in Africa and everything. And in Asia, they not calling that out. But they calling the brothers who are bad to say that brothers should not have freedom. This country is anti-black male freedom. Even the brothers are so silly, half of them are brainwashing and stuff. You see, I'm afraid if I didn't love myself, let me fight for my freedom. People who don't love themselves don't fight for their freedom. I love myself, I fight for my freedom. So that's why I'm strong about this passport brother stuff, because not all passports out there thugging, touching women, okay, and groping women. No, they're using those talking points like Hitler did with the Jews, find some bad Jews to exploit Jews, and people start hating them. That's the propaganda they're doing. But we got fake sisters and fake brothers and racist Latinos, racist white folks, racist Asians, and all that don't want to see a brother having freedom. When you don't stay in your slave place, they hate that. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, to tell Aztec warrior, that's the same dynamic that people say about immigration with Latinos. They say, oh, they here for sex trafficking, or they here for drug trafficking. They mean all of them like that? No. But don't take the passport because the same argument goes to Latino. Okay? And they might say hard work. You know, I know some ones who are immigrant who drugging and thugging. Don't give me that. Y'all, I'm gonna be wearing their wings up here. I know about that secret. Okay? So, and actually the Mexican American dude I went to school with, his mom from Mexico. And she was a madam. She was sex trafficking them girls. She's an immigrant her own self, trying to make some money in here in Houston back in 2007 and stuff. So that's what I'm saying, is the hypocrisy I'm calling out. And it's all about trying to tell a brother stay in his safe place. And Elijah Muhammad, that sicko, I cannot stand him. That's why all this going on. He was paid by them Klansmen in H.O. Hunt, the Klansman Dallas. See, people don't know. That's why I love Abby NYC. Like she said, these young people, they very ignorant. They don't know the history. Okay, but before you try to take the Southwest back, my friend, look within your own community. Because remember, it was Tejano soldiers. The first anti-black versus anti-brown mess in Texas before it became a California thing started here. Because Jose Antonio Navarro was a slave master, helped Sam Houston. That's when the anti-blackness of Latinos came through. And before the Treaty Guadalupe Hidalgo in Republic of Texas in a racial caste system here, they classified Tejanos as white. That's why you had anti-black Hispanics. And they also had a little privilege in segregation, even though they were discriminated against. That's why they had LULAC talking like white supremacists and defending segregation. So Tejano soldiers is the real reason why Mexico lost Texas. Besides, they using a thought, I'm sorry to say that, from the ADOS community who's mulatto, a tragic one, okay? The Yellow Rose of Texas, her massa told her to go sleep with Sam Houston to seduce him and drug him. That's why he lost the war against Texas. White racist Texas, I say. They had actors in tragic ones too, mulatto and pure Negroes that was on Sam Houston's side too. And then they didn't get no honor. They named Jose Navarro County, but did he get honor like Sam Houston? No. The black slaves and the freedmen that was on Sam Houston's side, the mixed and the pure, them coons, they don't get no honor. Like a few get honor. They mostly put Stephen Austin, Sam Houston, all them slave masters, David Crockett, all Fannin and Clay. Every street is named. They go San Antonio, Houston, and Austin. They named after those doggone slave masters. Okay? But that's who helped stole Texas. Them Tejano soldiers didn't care about Mexico. They didn't like Mexico. And they became, when the Tejano soldiers became part of the white supremacists, they was fighting in the Civil War on the Confederate side. That's where the black and brown race came in. That's why you had like Africans people they like Mexicans, because you had Mexicans kissing racism was kissing up to Tejanos to white Anglo-Saxon cousins of ours. They did, but the same mess came to California. Speaking of passport brothers, when African people left the South and went up north, California is considered north because it's Civil War map. They went to Los Angeles. Judge Joe Brown talked about this. When a lot of people started leaving the South and coming to California, especially Los Angeles, LA, the Gates, wherever one of them police officers, the chief, start recruiting Klan folks from the South to become police officers, LAPD. And that's where they came. And then you had Latino people. Somehow, I guess, LULAC introduced the anti-blackness down there, because LULAC was very anti-black, and some still are today. Okay, LULAC. They defend the white classification of white, calling Hispanic folks white when they're mixed with Spanish and black. Okay, it was against segregation, against integration. Okay, because Mexican American and African American people in Zoot rise together in the Philippines, they didn't have this anti-blackness in. But when white Anglo-Saxon folks saw that African people was advancing in California and leaving the South, they start becoming police officers and taking positions, and that's what that narrative came in. And they saw how Mexican Americans, in Texas, not all, who were Tejano descent, was treating African people. I ain't say all Tejanos. I say all Tejanos are bad, because he had good Tejanos too. Okay? But the ones who was licking the boots for Master Sam Houston and the sins of them, being they were anti-black. That seemed not to bring Radico's name. Radical like to don't bring this up. Okay? Before it came to the New York thing and the LA thing, it was a Texan thing. And then Matanza came in. And even Matanza, it still didn't wake them up. The reason why you learn about Matanza is not because only white people don't want you to know that about Matanza, Latinos getting lynched. It was Latinos who want to be white, covering that history up in the gasoline bath. It's weird. When I went to El Paso, that's why I learned about the gasoline bath. I went to the predominant Latino school in Eastside Harris County. Ain't nobody talk about Latinos getting no gasoline bath. When I was in Job Corps, I was in El Paso, Texas, and I was in what's it called in El Paso Community College, but I also was in graphic design with Creative Kids. And there was I wanted to go to the Black History Month thing. They're talking about Africans in Mexico, Black people in Mexico, and the Mexican American man, the professor, who was with that higher bright skin man, who like a white man for African studies. They were doing. I went there in 2006, doing February Black History Month. That Tuesday or the Wednesday, and I came a little late. As you come on in, we saw a film, and they talked about the gasoline bath. I am 26 on 27 that year. I had never went to that school about the gasoline baths at the border in Calabintores. Did not hear about it. See what I'm saying? But I knew Mexican Americans who want to be white covered that history up. And it's because every time we had Black History Month in my school, growing up in elementary, in high school, and middle, some would laugh at Africans getting watered down. And I remember when I get mad, when I pop someone in the face from that. I'm not laughing, you know what I'm saying? Laughing at the folks getting watered down and call type of N-word stuff. Yes, I'm talking about the kids who are Latino laugh. Okay? Imagine people actually laugh about folks getting gasoline bath and lynches and stuff. You see what I'm saying? I remember this back when I was a kid, and I used to get me angry about that. But nobody didn't teach them that Mexicans was also lynched. Latino was about the Mexican family. Okay, about the Mexican family, you know what I'm saying? The Mexican family that was for that actually revived segregation in school. Talking about the Mendez family, because you know her mom was Puerto Rican, dad was man. No one talked about that in school, and it's a predominantly Latino school because we see my school was mostly white, and we didn't hardly have no Black history. Showed in the 80s, we didn't have no Black history in a Latino, and the only time you know about Latino was Cinco de Mayo. That's it. Imagine, Don Armando, you're Dominican, and the only Latino history you talk about is Cinco de Mayo. Yes, sir. They didn't have Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. They had Black History Month in Selma, and they had to stop that because you had almost a riot behind that. Yes, in '96, and I danced in the Selma. I didn't dance La Macarena, okay. And right after the Tejano band was dancing, you had some racist accent folks leaving. I said, no, not my people. Stop. Like that, I don't want to be here. Like walking out doing the celebration. We don't get no this and that. You know what I'm saying? So we had to have a multicultural fair for all cultures to be celebrated. 97, 98. I don't forget in my high school because they had that tug of war of Black History Month and Cinco de Mayo. You see, that's how the white. You see why I would go out the classroom and go read my history book, my mixed identity and heritage. I had to go outside and go to the library and read about history and stuff because they weren't teaching that stuff in school. They sure wasn't. What do you mean that Chavez hated Native American? He looked Native American. I don't know what y'all against Chavez because he said the B word. Just like Akron said the N word. No one counts the artists and the N word in the music. But no, he was right about corporations choosing immigrants over Americans. That's corporate greed. Oh, he wants to come on. Lucas Acosta wants to come on, brother. Chavez, like y'all, is it because he was friends with Martin King family? I'm sorry. Because every time I see a Latino person that's not with that Mejala Raza whitewash mess, y'all, some of you, no offense, want to just trash them. No different knew Martin. He said he with the blacks. Like about SPM. I'm serious. Because that's why SPM got set up. Besides some thought trying to set him up because he believed in black and brown people. I'm sorry because Chavez, but it's weird. I'm starting to hear this hate from Chavez now. When I was in school, everybody that's Mexican American loved Cesar Chavez. You better not say nothing about Cesar Chavez. When I was in El Paso, they actually in Job Corps, and I was working, they had a festival. And I said, this is doing Irish History Month. Because I think March something is Cesar Chavez. Okay. He was not no white skin with no green. Stop lying. That man said Chavez did not have no damn green eyes. You stop smoking it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I mean cuss. No, he did not have no green eyes. I seen said Chavez pictures. That man did not have. You must be smoking on some weed.
All right. So Axman, which Chavez had white green eyes? Because Cesar Chavez, to me, I mean the pictures that I've seen, he doesn't look like he had those eyes. But I've heard in circles, Axman, that they actually called him a coconut. And it means that a person who is dark outside, but a person who is white inside. That's what I've heard several Mexican Americans call that man. I don't know what the truth is, but so I'm just putting this disclaimer out there for the Mexican American community. I'm not disrespecting y'all or anything like that. I'm just talking from a historical reference or a rumor reference what certain people in California have said in the past.
They're not calling Lulac coconuts. They're not calling Fiesta Herina, who's against integration and saying the Negro problem is not my problem. They're not calling him a coconut. They got all that smoke for Sage because he was friend with Curacao King and had a telegram with Martha King. I'm not, no. Yeah, no, but he has a point. I'm not being xenophobic. The capitalist white supremacists that own them business choose undocumented immigrants because undocumented immigrants are not going to fight for their rights. No, he wasn't lying. That's going on today. That's why you hear me saying, Michigan take my jobs. You know why? Because I know that folks are getting exploited. Acting saying people that say that trash don't know they politics and money. Our white kin folks want us of color to be poor, get work, or go to jail, in prison. Okay? And Cesar Chavez is right. You have people with low education trying to work a job as United States citizen, and here's some greedy white supremacist corporation going overseas and getting immigrants of color to doggone do the N-word work. I really I can't say 'cause I'm trying to respect Armando's channel, but the N-word work, you know what I mean? The Jim Crow work, the picking the cotton and strawberry mess, and get paid less. He was telling the truth. If you immigrant, would you want to work low wage? I wouldn't. I want the same thing that Becky and Brad got. And they were. Those corporations, dumb corporations, was getting immigrants of color. That's why they say that we lazy. They say us Africans say we're lazy. No, I'm a smart Adolf's brother. I'm not working no low wage and be treated like I'm back on a plantation. That's why I work. People call me a bum. If I have a business online, mom don't have a business online. He don't say what it is, but yeah, I got certain business online. I'm trying to work for myself. I'm not working for those, and I live in racist Texas where I be screaming at and talk crazy to the point I want to commit a bomb or something on there. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm bipolar. Okay? No, you make your own money by attracting money. Change your mindset. Having a poor man mindset is not gonna make it. You have abundant mindset, dude. It takes a mindset, a scarcity mindset. That's why people work a low wage and stay with no. If you work your job working low wage, why you don't have $1 million house? Stocks, invest. That's what makes money. You have to have a wealth mindset. Think like a rich man. Think and grow rich. Did a Napoleon Hill book. You're supposed to get that book and read it, bro. That's why minorities are working low wage and fighting over some cotton picking and start picking slave wage. I want wealth. I'm not fighting my Latino brother over something that they want us to work to stay poor. While Becky and Brad would fit their blonde hair in the sun and go to the beach and we still picking cotton strawberry and fight over it. I'm not doing that mess. And then when you do work them jobs here in Texas, they talk you crazy to a point you want to fight them behind. That's why you got folks trying to kill the boss. Okay, no hostile environment, no proper etiquette. And I'm bipolar. I went to an abusive family. I'm to a place where people remind me of what I went through. That's why I prefer to work for myself online. If that white woman can say period and make a lot of money and start whining about how she made the money, she coachable, maybe we learn from that white woman how she made that money on TikTok and make money like her and be balling. See, that's the problem. We are not taught to have a wealth mindset like them folks. We're taught to fight over something small and stay there. And I'm not fighting over no low wage. I fight over wealth. I ain't fighting over low wage. That's why I married the Latino woman, the racist woman at Starbucks. I'm at Starbucks on a computer trying to make my own money. And I was homeless. I ain't begging nobody for no money because I know as a middle class person growing up, ain't nobody gonna give me no money. I have the same attitude when they come in, okay? So I'm trying to use the internet and make your own money, okay? We need to use this internet to make money. If the white people are doing it, we need to do it too. Let's stop fighting over small little chimp change slave wage N-word change. I'll call it like it is, and try to get that money. If that white woman can say period and make a whole lot of money saying period we need to do what she doing. Okay, that's why I'm seeing people and Latino people at the economic barrier and still fighting over crop instead of trying to learn how to get that big house and own it. That's what's going on. So when Chavez said that, the most people who work poor wage do not have education. Unless they live in red state of Texas, my white supremacist, Republican. You live in liberal state of California, New York, if you had lack of education, most likely you work a low wage job. You know what I'm saying? You being in our jail with education. They don't real correct record unless you white, somebody that they pass, that you gonna have to work a low wage job or hustle or whatever. Okay, or either read them rich books and make legit money without doing any illegal activity to make it. Okay, and so if them folks in
Got
California
you.
do, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Um, yo, I'm about to wrap this up.
Okay.
So what you have to say, like, as your closing statement?
That's pretty much I already said enough. I've been mild. I ain't trying to be too mild on you.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I wish that my could have made it, but I'm gonna try to make another stream soon, maybe on Thursday or so. Like, I don't know, maybe afterwards or Saturday. So we could actually about this again. I actually thought that this was a great stream. So
Mm-hmm.
with that said, I'm about to close out, and good night, everybody, and like and subscribe my channel. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well,
Good
adios.
night and God bless. Yos.